Now tell me the cost involved for HD equipment that's underwater.
Wow. In some ways, the cost it's fabulous because they're prosumer cameras and low-end professional cameras are really much more affordable. The problem, though, is that once you take a camera and putting in one of these housings, your cost doubles. My housing for my camera costs more than my actual camera. And then you have to have lights and all that. So what started out as a $5,000 or $6,000 camera is now a $13,000 to $15,000 rig. So the cost is double or triple. And then you have maintenance and technology changes and all of the things that go with that. So it's very expensive. And the networks now are looking for higher and higher HD quality. So I have to keep up with that technology curve. So I'm looking at my next underwater system maybe $25,000 or $30,000. And I've got to go as a businessman and go, can I justify that expense?
Coming up next, more with Rick Allen. Stay with us. We're back with underwater cinematographer Rick Allen, who's also an award winner. Now tell me what it's like to actually be that close to sharks.
Oh, wow. Sharks are some of the most magnificent creatures on the planet, and most people have this primal fear of them, but when you're actually in the water with a shark, it's one of the most beautiful creatures you will ever see, because they are absolutely built for speed, and you can see their power and the muscles in them, and see 400 million years of evolution at work right there. And so I think sharks are some of the most magnificent, beautiful creatures on the planet.
And when you're filming underwater, what is your crew that comes with you down there?
It depends on the project, like all good things, and on the budget. Sometimes it's just me if it's a simple shoot and I'm doing all the work. If I'm lucky, I generally have an assistant who's helping me with lights, or somebody who's basically just there to keep track of the timer on the bottom and basically be a safety diver to handle communications and those sorts of things, so I can really focus on just using the camera. So I can have a crew of 1, 2, 3, maybe more. It just depends.
And do you film inside of a cage for protection, or do you just freely swim?
Most of the time when we're working with sharks, we're actually not in a cage. That's the best part. You're out there swimming with them. And what's really interesting about sharks is they're like dogs. They warn you when they're upset and you're pressing them and you're in their space. And they give off very clear clues that you shouldn't be there. And all you have to do is pay attention and give them space, and that usually works out. So there's nothing better than being in the open ocean with the shark. When I go to aquariums, I see people pressed up against the glass and watching the sharks, and I feel sorry for them because I actually get in there with the sharks and swim around, and it's much better.
Now let's transition into stuff that you shoot on dry land. What do you do there?
Well, I do a mix of things. I'm a jack of all trades. So I do documentary work, I do corporate work and entertainment, and a little bit of commercial stuff. So it's a great mix of things. One of my big clients is Office Depot, and so they have Tony Stewart as their driver, the number 14 Office Depot NASCAR car. So we do internal communications for Office Depot. We also do promo kits and press kits that we give out to the national media. And so we go to the races on the weekends and shoot NASCAR and get in there with all the good old boys and do that. And basically doing the coverage of the media covering Tony Stewart. I do other corporate work for drug companies and that sort of thing, high-end work where you have a whole grip truck and dollies and all the wonderful toys to play with, and a lot of documentary work for History Channel, National Geographic, and that's either history-related, diving-related, military-related, because I live in Fayetteville. So when they're coming to Fayetteville or North Carolina and need somebody who has experience shooting the military and kind of understands that mindset and some of the difficulties involved in working around helicopters and guys with loaded weapons, then I get hired to do that. So it's a great mix. It keeps it really entertaining.
That's great. What do you have coming up next?
I have several different things coming up in the near future. We'll be back on the Blackbeard Shipwreck project. There's a French crew coming, and they're going to be doing a documentary on pirate science. So it sounds like something like CSI Française. So we'll have them for a week to work with on the Blackbeard project. I'll be working on a video for 7th Special Forces Group. So we'll be blowing up things and have guys going through doors with loaded weapons and firing them off. That's always kind of interesting because there's real live ammo and explosives involved. So that's something to keep involved in. We'll be hanging out at choppers and getting those guys sliding out on ropes and doing that.
So you're doing it all. Underwater sharks, you're doing explosions, choppers, NASCAR, everything that's dangerous. Well, congratulations on your very, very low-key job, and we'll have more coming up on Below the Line on location right after this. Thanks again to my guests Tim Bourne and Rick Allen, and thank you for watching. Feel free to send your questions, comments, and show ideas. The email address is belowtheline21@gmail.com, and join our fan page on Facebook. We'll see you next time.
The producer assumes full and sole responsibility for the entire content of this program, produced using the facilities of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Public Access Corporation, Access 21. For more information, comments, or questions about the show, email us at belowtheline21@gmail.com.